Next, we go to Michael Flores, Business World.
Good
Hello,
afternoon, Chief
Michael.
Justice. Thank you for this opportunity. My question centers mainly on vacant salas or branches in lower courts. So for context and background, please correct me if I'm wrong with the details. The Supreme Court, through the Office of the Court Administrator, certifies to the JBC the salas or branches that need to be filled in lower courts. The JBC then submits the shortlist to the President, who appoints the members of the judiciary. It is also my understanding that portions of the salary of trial court judges come from the court's savings, as well as other funds of the judiciary, to which the Supreme Court has complete control. Now, to my question, isn't there a conflict of interest on the part of the court, considering that instead of certifying the urgent need to fill those vacancies, the court may opt not to recommend or certify the need for those vacancies to save on costs? You mentioned a while ago the budget constraints of the judiciary. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Let me walk you further back through the legislative process this time of creation of courts. The judiciary cannot stop Congress if it wants to create courts even in areas where the need for courts is not dire. That's why you have courts all over the country. Some have as low as 10. I've seen one, 30. And there is even one Justice Lagman that has 0, right? 0. Okay. Now, if you are going to appoint 4 people to a court with 0 caseload, what does that talk about the fiduciary responsibility of the judiciary over the funds of the people? Okay. Now, do we certify maliciously? Because that's the underlying question there. Just so that there could be savings? No. No. We want to solve the case backlog. In fact, that's why we have been pulling out judges from the provinces and assigning them to Metro Manila, because we have to solve the backlog. We are unhappy about the situation. Now, is there a conflict of interest? No, we do not, I do not, and my colleagues do not, look at the savings that we will save by not appointing a judge to a court with 0 caseload as a way so that we can distribute more money. The real solution is to have an indexing of the salary of judges in a way that you can make them more impervious to the attraction of the material world. What I'm saying is that we should put ourselves in the position of judges who could have landed fat salaries. And Attorney Mel Santa Maria knows the kind of salaries you can command in Makati, if you're a good one, or in Taguig City, or in Ortigas. So that a judge who will forego imagining that kind of lifestyle cannot be attracted even when he has a multi-billion peso case that only he will decide at the trial court level. That is the kind of just system that we should be trying to look at. I was in talks with the Chief Justice of Singapore, and they index their salaries to a very high level. It's amazing how much they can pay their judges. In Malaysia, high court judges, appellate court judges, are given their own houses with many of their operating costs subsidized by government. So that the idea is to remove the attractiveness of financial enticements. So if you think that we are doing this, no. In fact, I will have to tell you that we have improved the vacancy rate from the previous vacancy rate of 25%. If the President acts on the nomination lists that are with him, we will bring it down to somewhere between 17 to 18%. That's already a 7 to 8% reduction of the vacancy rate. We cannot hurry filling up, especially in the far-flung areas where you don't have cases. But we are in a hurry to fill up in the heavily congested areas. Thank you, Mikel.
Follow-up?
For my second question, you already mentioned before the need of the judiciary for discretionary or intelligence funds for purposes of investigating alleged erring members of the judiciary. what other functions of the court would need the use of these kinds of funds?
No, I'm not saying that I'm asking for it. No. Please note, I said we don't have. Right? We don't have. Because I am not yet sure that we ourselves should be conducting these kinds of hard-nosed investigation. I have not yet reached that point. Perhaps I will even be more comfortable to completely give it to the NBI or for the court to give it to the fact-finding stage to be given to the ombudsman. That's something we in the court can discuss. To ask for discretionary funds will be a major policy decision. That's why we have to really think about it carefully. We are not asking for discretionary funds. Just please be clear about that.
Thank you, Chief
Thank you.
Justice.